It's been hot here at the Clipsal 500 race 2. Let's go inside the cockpit with Russell Ingall.
Where it's 51 degrees plus. This man has moved from 21st up into 7th, so the heat certainly hasn't affected you too much, Russell.
I don't know about that. I could do with a cold VB, I can tell you right now.
Instead, you've just been throwing water down the middle of your race suit there. Anything you can to keep yourself cool, huh?
Yeah, it's not a real good look taking a mouthful of water and dribbling it down you. Like you said before, I feel like an old man, but I'll tell you what, it's goddamn hot in here. I got a bit of a dose of the flu, which doesn't help as well, so we got the whole kit. Flu, hot car, hot day. I want to get out of here, let me out.
Russ, I like it. Russ, it's Baz. How you doing?
Mate, I'll tell you what, if I pull into the pitch, do you want to swap?
Would you like a nice cold glass of Chardonnay?
No doubt you're sitting in air-conditioned comfort once again.
Oh, yeah, naturally. Is it hot out there, Russ? Is it hard work?
Like you wouldn't believe. I've never experienced anything like it. Like, I'll tell you what, there's not many times you want to chuck in the towel, but this is close.
Best of luck, Ace.
Thanks, dudes.
Hey, before we let you go, Russell, how's the car going?
It's getting a bit squeezy in the back, mate. It's getting a little bit nervous, but this cool down period will help it, so...
Get down to business, mate. We're about to get restarted. Russell Ingall, there he is in car number 8. He's moved from 21st position up into a top 10 position at the moment. Currently 7th, but Mark Scaife is our race leader. Greg Murphy is in 2nd position. Stephen Richards, and here we go again. And Murphy tries to put another squeeze on Mark Scaife. This happened 56 laps ago, and they want to do it again. Car number 1 this time gets through first. Up over both ripple strips through the Etten centre chicane. The order stays the same.
Look at Craig Lowndes finding a lone hand there for 40 and tacks up under brakes behind Garth Tander. He knows he's there. But Lowndes in a big pack of Commodores. The next Falcon behind him. We're going to go right back to Marcus Ambrose in 10.
And there's no confusion now as to who exactly is leading this race, because all of these guys in the top 9 at least have done both of their compulsory pit stops. So now it's a battle to the end of this race. 78 laps they've got to do, and remember, you have to finish the race to get any championship points.
Yeah, this is difficult now when you get caught in this queue. All these guys are all pumped up. All the teams are telling us that these Dunlop tyres take a fraction longer than the Bridgestones to come up to temperature. And there's a good example of that. I think it was Todd Kelly running wide on the exit to the sweeper.
I tell you what, it makes you jump out of your seat when they come around there and they end up on the left-hand side. They all get through turn 9 successfully. That's where everybody has been putting the pressure on, but it seems as though they're going to go at least lap 1. Well, a bit of dirt on the right-hand side of the car, so absolutely amazing, an electrifying restart. That's just 1 lap gone of that restart. On to lap 57, there's Rodney Forbes, the 00 Motorsport. That's turn 9 again.
Well, just had good word from the medical officials. They've spoken to Glenn Seaton. He's okay after that big shunt. So fortunately, Glenn Seaton walking away relatively unscathed. There's a hell of a battle on here as we welcome to the commentary box Paul Radisich. Paul, I know you'd rather be out there fighting. It hasn't been your weekend, but you've got to be impressed by the speed of this Falcon.
Yeah, Craig's putting the pressure on there on Tander, but and it's not going to come off for him. But he's doing extremely well. He's very harsh over the curbs, but once you're right behind the aerodynamics, it's very hard to see where the road goes. So Craig's following behind.
A bit of contact there between Todd Kelly and Russell Ingall as Craig Lowndes was dicing up front with Garth Tander. So the battle is definitely on between positions 4, 5, 6 and 7 at the moment. And Lowndes has been doing this all day. Got smoke coming out of the back of Garth Tander's car.
I think that's a guard rubbing. There was contact between his car and the 00 Motorsport Ford. There's only a little bit of smoke at the moment. It might be okay. It'll be a worrying moment for the Gary Rogers Motorsport team. This is the battle for the lead. Everyone's pumped up. They're all trying to improve their track position while these tyres are a little bit skatey and not up to the right pressure, the right temperature.
Yeah, the tyres, Mark, are extremely durable, but in these conditions, the rear tyres just tend to go away, and you've got to drive it so precisely and quietly on the throttle. It's difficult to do, but the guys are coping well, and as you see here, they've all done their stops. So this is for outright position.
Just heard there's a black flag for car 21. It's Bradley Jones speeding in pit lane.
There was Jason Bright in car number 2. He's moved up to position number 7, so Ingall has got a position. Look at this great battle. That's Ingall and Bright coming up the top of Wakefield Street. Does Bright get him? Yes, he does. So another position change for Jason Bright. He's been moving up throughout this field since all the restarts have happened. He's played it such a cool hand throughout this race. Started from way back on the grid, Jason Bright. Car number 2 started this race.
The Autoscape, Murphy just 0.6 of a second behind the Holden Racing Team driver. Stephen Richards in third, Garth Tander fourth, Craig Lowndes in fifth. Let's have a look at the replay.
Yeah, this is Rodney Forbes. He's come unstuck a couple of times and Cameron McLean manages to go through. So too does Brad Jones in the Aussie Mail Ford. I was just saying that Jason Bright started from position number 22. Right now, he's at a high of 7. In fact, 6 by the time they get past the start-finish.
Tander proving a tough customer there. Craig Lowndes applying maximum pressure, but Tander was equal to the task and fought him off.
So lap 59 of 78 comes to a close, and yet again the people of South Australia have rewritten the record books. A record crowd on day 1, a record crowd on days 2 and 3. There's 65,500 people watching the V8 Supercars. Look at Bright on the inside. That was the warning to Craig Lowndes. Shuts him down. So Tander, Lowndes. Look at Lowndes bouncing around all throughout the end centre chicane. We've got a record total crowd of 171,000 people. Again, they're looking inside and out. What a fantastic battle this is. At the front is Tander, then it's Lowndes, then Bright.
Interesting talking to Russell Ingall in that break there. He was saying the rear of the car was starting to get a little bit spongy. Maybe the tyres were getting past the use by date. Lowndes get a little bit sideways on the exit. Bright capitalises up the inside of the 004 Ford. Now Lowndes tries to switch back. He's side by side with the Holden Racing Team Commodore as they punch out of turn 7 down toward the sweeper. I don't know who's going to back off here. They're coming up toward the fastest corner on the track. Lowndes on the inside, Bright on the outside. Lowndes gets it back.
Oh, there's only room for one car to go through there at any time, and Russell Ingall swats alongside Jason Bright. Look at this battle. Lowndes caught in the middle. That's Bright looking out the side of Lowndes' window. Can Ingall get there? Bright love taps him along the way. So Lowndes maintains his position. Bright sneaks in behind him. What an enthralling battle for positions 5, 6 and 7.
Oh, Russell Ingall, great opportunism there. He saw that opportunity open up. He took it. Jason Bright lost 2 positions there in that turn. Now Bright comes back on the attack on the inside. Everything locked up. And now Russell Ingall tries to switch back once again. A faster corner exit speed. He's got a fraction more speed as we go on board with Russell Ingall. Look how close this is. 60 laps into a 70-lap race. You'd think it was a 5-lap screamer. And Bright goes through to take the position back.
On board with Russell Ingall. We're almost inside the car of Jason Bright. They were that close. So Garth Tander has managed to steer clear of all that trouble at the front. But now Craig Lowndes is hunting him down as well. The race order at the moment has Scape out in front. Murphy in second. They've got clear road at the moment. Richards is in third. Garth Tander is in fourth. Then you're looking at the battle between Lowndes, Bright, Ingall and Kelly. And at the back of all that is Marcus Ambrose in the Pertec Ford.
The important thing to remember here is Jason Bright came in to take on fresh rubber much later than all the cars that are around him. His tyres are going to be in better shape than anyone here. And as he's shown throughout the weekend, he's got a very clean turn of speed. He's looking good as this race unfolds. Through the sweeper, Marcus Ambrose, lights on. Autoscape, Murphy, Richards. Look at Ambrose, has a sniff down the inside. He's going to keep going, is he? No, just pulls the nose back. Todd Kelly moves over to cover his line. Tander in fourth, Lowndes in fifth, Bright in sixth. Ingall, Kelly, Ambrose, Bargwanna rounds out the top 10.
And you're on board with the Rookie of the Year for 2001. He won a round but not a race last year, but had 3 pole positions. The Tassie Devil certainly has a lot of pace in this Pertec Ford. Race 1, he finished 4th. He's already got 104 championship points in his bag.
Before this dice began, the leading crews have been on the radio to their drivers. The Holden Racing Team, for example, said to Jason Bright, Jason, think of the championship. The points are important here. The same message from Paul Forgy to Marcus Ambrose.
Under attack at the end of Wakefield Street. Jason Bright breathing on. Look at Marcus Ambrose up the inside of Todd Kelly.
He got him too.
And keep in mind that Ambrose pitted at the same time as Jason Bright did. So both these cars will have really fresh rubber in comparison to the cars around them. Expect the Pertec Ford and the number 2 HRT car to be the big movers in the pack.
Jason Bright and Paul Morris is the loser of that little battle. He got squeezed out of the top of Bartels Road. Now it's Bright and Lowndes side by side. Ford versus Holden. Once again coming into the Dunlop sweeper. 6th gear. Bright's going to get him, and he does.
Well, that just shows how much better that car is putting its power down out of those turns. He took advantage of that. Left Lowndes standing. So he's got plenty of grip, plenty of power down in car 2 as he shown all weekend. Bright really turning on the speed at a critical part of the race. 61 laps gone of 78, and championship points hanging in the balance.
It's almost like they've just started this brawl, because it's been on this way around about positions 4, 5 and 6 since we started. Only the names have changed, but the attitude certainly hasn't. Ambrose goes up the inside, and he gets past Russell Ingall, but Russell Ingall goes up the outside along the main straight.
Keep going, mate.
Paul Forgy, Marcus Ambrose's mechanic, pushing him on. Keep going, mate, keep going, mate. Well, he responds to his mechanic's wishes. He goes down the inside as they come into centre chicane, and Ambrose takes that position back. Todd Kelly is watching for any action here, and there's going to be plenty with Russell Ingall and Marcus Ambrose going hammer and tong, 51 degrees or more inside the cockpit of these V8 supercars.
Oh, this is V8 supercar racing at its absolute best. They're tossing these 5-litre fuel-injected V8 supercars around one of the toughest, one of the most exciting street circuits in the world. Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant the way that they're brawling. Impact for the Team Brock car. That's Larry Perkins as well. So a big spin at the top of turn 7.
Team Brock car is headed into pit lane as a result of that incident. Look at this battle here. As Bright ducks out, he has another go. And he gets Tanner this time. So he's got far superior speed here. He's going to pick him off one by one in his pursuit of his teammate Mark Skaife. That puts him up into 4th. He's got Stephen Richards and Greg Murphy between himself and his teammate.
Well, it's an amazing game plan, isn't it, from Jason Bright? He just works it nice and steady throughout the zigzag part of the track. Turns 4, 5, 6 and 7, puts the speed down as they get along Bartels Road, and that's where he's picking them all off. If he doesn't get them there, he wants to get them at turn 9. Jason Bright is electrifying at the moment, moves up to 4th position. Mark Skaife is our race leader. Greg Murphy is in 2nd position. Stephen Richards is in 3rd. Jason Bright is charging hard for the Clipsal 500 Race 2 victory. Will he get there? Only time will tell, but we've got one hell of a fight on our way. That's your top 8 right there.
Todd Kelly and Jason Bargwan are inside the top 10. John Bow, boy, he's done well today. Mark Larkham, Stephen Johnson, Tony Longhurst, Paul Romano and Cameron McLean, the Queenslander.
You are joining 171,000 people trackside, witnessing an extraordinary V8 supercar race, and the season has only just begun. Come back and join us here on Network 10.
We're back and you're watching a hard day's work undone. That is Stephen Richards still ahead of Jason Bright. Maybe not for long, but Jason has just lost an enormous amount of track position. He's regained 1 position, but he lost 5 in a spin a short time ago. This is unbelievable.
Well, take a look at this. Jason Bright has been lining him up, and he got past Stephen Richards down along that Bartels Road. So Jason Bright, the biggest mover of the day, has just had the pedal down the whole way like you wouldn't believe. He's fired up from 22nd position all the way up into the top 10. He's been the one to watch.
Yeah, outstanding drive. These cars are just working so well. He's got the freshest rubber. The significant thing in this battle is that Jason Bright and Marcus Ambrose pitted at the same time. They went into fresh rubber much later than a lot of the cars around him in the top 10, and they're really taking advantage of that extra grip now.
And like we were talking about before, on the other side of the break, Jason Bright just seems to have a terrific amount of speed in this car, and he's using it down the main straight of Bartels Road. It's almost like there's a game plan and he's sticking to it. Car by car, bit by bit, he's edging his way up towards the top of the pack and trying to chase down his teammate. We're on board with the Pertec Ford of Marcus Ambrose, the 2 young guns. He's taking on Craig Lowndes in a tremendous battle up through turns 5 and 6, now on to turn 7. So Jason Bright's got well and truly past Stephen Richards. Now he's got a bit of clear road in front of him. This is Lowndes and Ambrose, the 00 Motorsport Ford and the Pertec Ford out of the Stone Brothers Racing Camp. 68 of 78, through the Dunlop sweeper they go. Richards is on your screen there. Jason Bright is in front of those. Oh, trouble for Jason Bright, car number 2. The HRT Commodore of car number 2, and look at the spot snatchers. They've come up and taken all those spots. Ken Gartan to get around him. No, comes into the left-hander now at Ford corner. Oh, right over to the side and contact with the wall on the right side. He's slipping and sliding, and the cars are lining up to take those positions.
Well, he was very lucky that was a tyre wall there, because he could have been in the same situation he was yesterday when he broke that Watts linkage on the rear axle. Let's have a look at the replay. He gets it way offline. bounces off the tyre wall. That puts him back on line. He's lost a lot of track position.
I'll tell you where he's gone. He's gone all the way down to 9th position at the moment. We're on board with Marcus Ambrose, and definite trouble for him. He's also hit the wall.
Stop the engine, Paul. Please say yes or no. Yes, stop the engine, Marcus. It's all over, mate.
Yeah, we've heard he's blown the engine in the Pertec Falcon. Kaput. What a shame for Marcus Ambrose.
Isn't that just terrible? 4th position yesterday in race 1. And if anything, that's the best thing he could have done for the weekend, because like we said, he's got 104 points, so he's not going to walk away empty-handed. He'll certainly walk away disappointed.
Well, you can hear the team telling him to shut that engine down. They didn't want any more damage than has already been done. Well, as we welcome to the commentary box Neil Crompton, this has not been a good day for the Ford teams. We'll get to you in a second, Neil. Let's have a look at this replay.
That's Team Kiwi. Jason Richards gets in contact with Cameron McLean and ends up into the wall on the right-hand side.
It's not been a good day for the Ford teams, especially yourself. It's pretty hard to take.
Very frustrating, isn't it? And particularly frustrating for Marcus here, who had good car speed and...
Negative. You want me to turn the master switch off? Yeah, mate, just turn it off. Cheers, mate.
It's Paul Forgy, his chief mechanic, just talking him through the shutdown process. The car hasn't hit the wall, it's just blown an engine, we hear from the pits.
And therefore there's probably quite a little bit of oil here and there around the circuit. McLean has gone into the pit lane entry wall.
They tangled on the track, and they've also tangled coming back into pit lane, car number 21 and the Cameron McLean car, the VIP Pet Foods car. So
didn't David Coulthard or somebody do that here many years ago? Or somebody like that. So easy to do. It's incredibly tight and very slow there, and easy to just on that slightly dirty bit of road just lock up and go straight ahead.
Well, this is what happened to Marcus Ambrose. So he didn't actually hit the wall. That's looking at the rear of the Pertec Ford, and all of a sudden a great flash of white smoke. So coming onto Bartels Road, he's parked it along there somewhere, and that was it. That's when he knew it was all gone.
Did the right thing getting off the racing line. He's dumped a ton of oil down there. What happened to your car, Neil? We saw you fiddling in the boot there. What was going on?
Yesterday we had a problem with some kind of electrical short, and it tripped out both circuit breakers on the fuel pumps. So I just dived into the boot in case it was the same thing again. It wasn't, so as Marcus heads back through the crowd, I know how that walk works. We'll time him and see whether he's quicker or not. But,
Alan Heafy was saying that it was probably the extraordinary heat that could have tripped you up.
It's definitely a heat-related thing, Matthew. For some reason, when the car was misfiring heavily, that's why I came in at the start of the race, as you know. And during that caution period, you could feel the heat soak in the car. There's actually quite a bit of smoke because the floor's burning just above where the muffler is, and then almost simultaneously we start to have a drama. So I suspect there's some wiring somewhere in the car that's very unhappy.
Just before you take a look at the tape too, when you first came in, we thought you were gone for the day, so we counted you out, but thankfully you got back out there. We apologised accordingly and you were back racing.
Thank you, I'll remember that.
You owe us one.
How fast is this thing today? Scafey's just in command, isn't he? His lap times are strong. He looks like he's well in his stride, and now that Ambrose is out and Bright's out, that's certainly some degree of pressure reduced on him.
Yeah, they'll take a maximum haul of 400 points if he wins this one. So, as we've seen in previous years, they come out, give the old 1, 2, 3, and get the maximum points haul early in the season, and all they've got to do is protect it.
Well, Greg Murphy is also in the hunt for 288 points from this race. The top three, Scaife, Murphy and Richards. 3 Commodores are there. In fact, there's only 1 Ford in the top 8. This is race 2 of the Clipsal 500. Let's take you through positions 9 down to 16.
John Bowell, Jason Barguana, Stephen Johnson, a stack of Fords back here, but at the wrong end of the grid. Wayne Gardner, Larry Perkins, Tony Longhurst in 16.
You only get points if you finish the race. We'll find out who will, who won't. It's a great finish, lining up the Clipsal 500. Come back and join us after this. Well, Craig Lowndes has done everything but driven the green eyes off this green-eyed monster, but he's having a red-hot go right here now to get in front of Stephen Richards and ensure that he gets on the podium. Craig Lowndes has never walked away from a weekend at Adelaide without at least being on the podium once, but Stephen Richards in the Castrol Perkins Commodore is shutting him down. You're looking at positions 3 and 4 at the moment as we enter the closing stages of the Clipsal 500. It's been a title fight battle between most of the competitors in the top 6. The names have changed, but the punches haven't stopped coming at all, and Stephen Richards is, oh, this is amazing stuff. He's holding off Craig Lowndes, but look how close Lowndes is. He could not get any closer. Up Wakefield Street, has a look on the inside, goes to the outside, stays where he is.
This is a conservative line from Stephen Richards. You could say Neil Compton.
Well, it is, and he is entitled to do it because we're down to the critical end of the race now. There's just 3 laps to go, and it's gloves off. Anybody can do pretty much what they want, provided Stephen doesn't change his mind and go from side to side. He's allowed to drive the defensive line, so Craig has to
Clear air, mate. Clear air. Clear air.
They need
clear air. There's just 4 laps. Clear air.
They need
clear air.
Cool air to the front of it, and our radio's on the back side of the circuit. He's asking to shout all day long. You won't be able to hear him over there at the moment. When they get down to the second half of the circuit, you can actually hear the guys.
Oh, he's into him here.
Here we go, turn 9, yet again the right-hander. Oh, nose-to-tail stuff between the Ford and the Commodore.
In behind other cars, the engine water temperature spikes incredibly in a very short period of time. The amount of hot air coming out from the preceding car is extraordinarily hot.
Craig Lowndes trying to find a way past. He hasn't missed out on a podium. Could be the day today. Just trying to do our sums of where he'll finish in the points. Gets very sideways as he gets the power on, trying to chase Richards. 3 laps remaining.
There's your PlayStation 2 race score. Scaife leads the way. Greg Murphy is second. This is the battle we're watching between Richards and Lowndes. Behind them is Jason Bright, who's made up an enormous amount of ground. He started in 22nd position. He's aiming for a top 5.
Good pressure resistance from Stephen Richards here. I mean, he's really copying it left, right and centre, and we haven't seen him put a foot wrong so far. The times have really drifted out. His last lap was a 27.2. Craig's was a 27.4. And in fact, these guys are starting to drift backwards towards Bright, Tander, Kelly and so on because of this stuff.
One of the things that Larry Perkins said in his interview with Bill Woods was that as soon as Stephen Richards came on the market, that's when he made a decision to become a 3-car team, because Larry wasn't going anywhere, either was Russell, and now he's snaffled up that driver. This is the reason why Stephen Richards is so cool under pressure. A 2-time Bathurst winner, remember. He's got the runs on the board all right, and now he's got Craig Lowndes, a 3-time series champion, all over the back of him.
Those lap times there, 27s and 26s. I think he's getting pretty tired toward this end of the day.
And it just looks as though Craig's losing a little drive off the slower corners and is just starting to lose touch a bit from the back of Stephen at the moment.
He's going to fall into the clutches of Jason Bright pretty soon, because Bright is just coming into view behind him and he is going gangbusters. Had that spin, but he's fought back from it. Oh!
Brighty just made a mistake, missed the apex into the final turn.
2 laps, keep the pressure on.
That would have cost half a second, 3/4 of a second, just giving Lowndes another little breather in these closing laps.
Quite an extraordinary race. Stephen Richards' best finish here at Adelaide in any race was 4th back in 2000. He finished 6th rather in race 1. And right now he's holding on to a podium finish. You could have just heard 00 Motorsport Team Oscar yelling out to Craig Lowndes, keep the pressure on. I don't think he really needs to tell Lowndes that. Amongst all this, Mark Scaife has clear road ahead and behind. He's sizing up another victory here. In fact, he will become only the 2nd person in Clipsal 500 history, if he can do it, to win 2 out of 2 on the weekend. Only Craig Lowndes has done it before, back in 1999, when he was driving a Holden Commodore.
Mark's got 3.7 seconds over Greg Murphy, and then this battle for 3rd. Murphy and Richards and Lowndes, and then Bright in behind. And Bright's going to be the danger man here because he'll put pressure on Craig, which will mean that Lowndes has got to change his focus a little bit from attack to part defence.
I'll tell you what, the last time we saw Jason Bright come down that part of the circuit and the back started to wobble around like it was on skateboard wheels, oh, there was major trouble and he didn't finish the race. That was nervous times there, but he's holding on to 5th position at the moment. So currently Scapey leads. Mark Scape is our leader. Greg Murphy is in 2nd position. Stephen Richards, as he crosses the line, is officially in 3rd position. Then you've got Lowndes behind him. Jason Bright, Garth Tander, Todd Kelly, Russell Ingall, John Bowe and Jason Bargwanna.
And this has probably got podium implications in terms of the overall as well. That's why they'll be all so desperate.
Well, the finishing positions here from race 2, who stand on the podium. Point situation's different in terms of the V8 Supercar Championship Series. Look how much Bright has caught up on this bunch. It's desperate stuff. It's the final lap.
Amazing stuff. Craig Lowndes putting all sorts of pressure on Stephen Richards. Jason Bright now putting incredible pressure on the back of Craig Lowndes. Throughout all of this, Stephen Richards has shown experience and coolness way beyond his years. Look at him go in the Castrol Perkins Commodore. Car number 16 holding on for dear life for 3rd position. Bright has been lining up people all day down that straight, but he won't get Lowndes around.
Watch out, Bright. On the brakes here. He's going to have a major attack here. He's got more grip than Lowndes. He's going to try everything he can.
Here we go, turn 9. Richards gets through cleanly, so too does Lowndes. Bright right up behind him. So at the moment, Richards holds on to 3rd position, but out in front, you've got Mark Scape, a clean sweep for the defending series champion. He begins 2002 with 2 out of 2 on the streets of Adelaide. Mark Scape, what a terrific drive, and look at this battle for a podium position. Jason Bright is not going to give up. Stephen Richards won't either. In fact, Bright and Lowndes come together right on the last turn. Now Bright tries to shoot up on the outside, but Lowndes shuts him down.
Fantastic. What great drive.
Oh man, what a finish. Craig Lowndes holds on to 4th position. Jason Bright on to 5th position, but there's your race winner. There is your round winner. 4-time series champion, has 400 points in the bank to start the season. Greg Murphy in 2nd position. He will get 288 points, and look at this finish for Todd Kelly. The front left has gone, and he also is a victim of the Dunlop sweeper, one of many. Well, you're in good company, Todd, but he's going to get it across the line, and take a look at the rear axle, exactly the same as what happened to Jason Bright. But the important thing is that Todd Kelly does get it across the line, because there's points to be had, and I mean only just across the line.
And he finishes 12th, which is pretty handsome considering the state of the car.
Oh, that was an awesome finish. I mean, out in front, Mark Scape was always going to lock this thing down because he had the pace out the front, and he had clean track in front and behind, as we saw. Now, this is what happened to Todd Kelly once again. Oh, gee. Exactly the same impact spot, but thankfully he got out of it a lot better than Stephen Ellery, Paul Radicic, and today we saw Glenn Seaton go in there really, really heavily.
Yeah, Glenn actually clipped the inside wall, Matthew. I spoke to him as he got out of the ambulance. He was okay, but with a cut, but he actually touched it on the inside, which was what launched him onto the wall on the outside. Mark Scape, Russell Ingall. Ingall back in 7th, but he'd be happy, and so would Greg Murphy, the fact that they've actually opened the critical part of the season with valuable points.
Hey, what about the move between Bright and Ingall as well? Jason Bright started in 22nd position after he didn't finish yesterday, and he came all the way up to position number 5. Russell Ingall started in 21st position, and he's ended up with a top 10 finish. Let's make it official. Race 2 of the Clipsal 500 goes to Mark Scape, and the overall round goes to Mark Scape as well. Greg Murphy is on the podium in car number 51, and Stephen Richards, congratulations. You fought a terrific battle with Craig Lowndes, and in the end, you won that battle. Lowndes in 4th, Bright in 5th, Tander in 6th after finishing 2nd yesterday. Russell Ingall, a top 10 finish. So too for Jason Bargwanna. Didn't get into the warm-up this morning because of clutch problems on board the Valvoline Cummings Commodore, but he did get into it in the race and gets into 9th position, right down through to 17 and 24.
Well, you cannot do a better job than this man this weekend and his team. And they're the envy of the pit lane at the moment. Their cars are working beautifully, and these guys are driving well with it.
Well, and good luck.